Indictments against 45 Minneapolis gang members.
And they say their work is far from over. Let's get out live to Karen Scullin. Karen, these charges have been a long time in coming.
Right, the investigation took about a year. The 45 or so arrests, just 48 hours. Feds and local law enforcement working together to rid Minneapolis of gang crime by breaking up the three primary gangs, the Highs, the Lows, and the Bloods. Now, the 45 include indictments for 20 shootings and 7 murders. There are numerous photos included in the indictments as evidence, some kind of showing alleged gang members pointing and shooting guns. Also, Fox 9 has video of a homicide scene mentioned in those court papers. It was outside Williams Pub in Uptown in April of 2022. Federal prosecutors say it was the Bloods who physically attacked, shot at, and murdered a man outside of the pub. For years, we heard Minneapolis gangs were actually very loosely organized with no real hierarchy. But it was clear today, over the last 2 years, that's changed, which means the federal Rico Act can be used to prosecute them together so they face stiffer penalties.
The indictments, including the Highs indictment, sets out in plain terms a list of allegations that tell a scary story about gang violence in Minneapolis. Shooting after shooting, murders, drive-bys, retaliatory killings, innocent folks caught in a crossfire. The indictment lays it all out.
For far too long, the shootings and violence detailed in these indictments has been normalized, as has the impact and harm that is suffered by our most vulnerable residents. But let me be clear, there is absolutely nothing normal about the disgusting levels of violence and crime detailed in these complaints.
Now, for a better frame of reference, the gangs were and are territorial. The Highs operate in North Minneapolis above Broadway Avenue, the Lows below Broadway, and the Bloods are working in South Minneapolis below Lake Street. Now, today, gang members were arrested from the Highs and the Bloods. U.S. Attorney Andrew Lugar saying, though, we can expect members of the Lows to be arrested in the near future. Now, Andrew Lugar said today that prior to 2020, the level of violence we've been seeing would have been unthinkable. Those are his words. He said after the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd, violence and organized gang violence increased. Obviously, this new effort hoping to change that. We're live outside the federal courthouse in Minneapolis. Karen Scullin, Fox 9.